everyone. It's good to be back. I like to connect with you this way. It's April the 4th, and the kids have been out of school for 3 weeks. Some of us have been shelter in place for another week or so, and I'm just wondering how you're doing. I hope well. It's occurred to me during this time that we are learning some lessons, some really valuable lessons, getting the space to do this, to learn. And I would like to know what lessons that you're learning about yourself or your lifestyle, or just because we've been shaken up. So you can email me or leave them in the comments. I'm really interested in what's going on with you. Or we could talk about it in our session. Also, if you would click subscribe, then you'd know when I post a new video. And also, if you click on, I guess, my name, Mindy, the channel, then it will list the other videos that you may have missed or that have come up. So be sure to do that. And I think it's real important for us to stay connected with this physical distance that we're experiencing. This is a real important time, with maybe a lot of us feeling so isolated from others, to explore the ways in which we look externally for security versus internally, that internal locus of control, what we can do for ourselves to feel supported and secure, instead of looking outward so much. Because for a lot of us, we can't leave our houses, at least not, we can go for a walk, but we're out of our normal supportive groups. I think I miss hugs the most. My teenager isn't into that. Yesterday he came in and sat right next to me, and I was like, oh yay, some closeness. But it was after he'd gone to practice for 2 hours on the tennis court, and then he had like a soda or something, and so he was burping and stinking, and like, okay, maybe I don't want the closeness right now. Anyway, it's my dad, was just this wonderful guy, and he was a recovered alcoholic, 16 years, and he would shoot out these bumper sticker slogans at me, and half the time I would argue with him, but he ended up being right all of the time. But he would say, Mindy, anytime you depend too much on someone, they will always disappoint you. Not just depend on someone. When you depend too much on someone, they will always disappoint you. And it's because we're human. We have limitations. So this could be our spouse, it could be a good friend or your therapist, your church. When we put too much expectation for support on another person, on the external, outside of ourselves, our expectations are going to be disappointed. And I think what he was trying to teach me during the time when I was going through depression is that I really did need to learn how to self-soothe and depend more on myself. And it was a really great lesson. Looking more towards that internal support, being your own best friend, extends to your home environment. How are you creating a home environment that is supportive and secure for you? And as well as a routine. How is your daily routine supporting you and giving you some sense of security and sense of productivity, and where you can feel great at the end of the day? A few of us, a couple clients, you know who you are, I've suggested, and I've taken this on too, a schedule where we, all of us, as soon as we get up and get ready and have our coffee, we don't sit down, no sitting, and we spend an hour and a half doing the distasteful tasks of the day, and or projects that we wouldn't normally do, and it's really worked out well for me. I think they're actually doing better than I am. I spent the first couple of weeks, I felt crummy anyway, on the couch and glued to the news and on social media, and it didn't really work. I realized those were time killers. I think everybody else has realized that, but it's hard to pull yourself away. And I guess I moved into the house 6 months ago, and I thought, I'm still not unpacked. My garage is boxes and boxes stacked up all over. And that's because I'm a single mom and I don't have time, but now I have more time, not total free time, but now I have more time and I'm still not doing it. So, I learned maybe the excuses are just that, and I need to make time. So I actually did, and unpacked a couple kitchen cabinets and reorganized and threw away 2 boxes out of 3, and felt really good. So, so what does it mean to be our own support? And that doesn't mean, don't reach out. We are human beings. We are made to be connected socially and spiritually. So please don't think I'm saying just depend on yourself and that's it. That's not at all. But in what ways can we not look to the external for that security, but rather be a better friend to ourselves? And we see this nationally, really interesting, because we look towards these systems, the medical system and healthcare system and hospitals, and even New York, they're being so overwhelmed and bombarded, and they are saying, we can't handle it. As a nation, we looked at the government for security, and they're not prepared for this pandemic. So it's interesting, as a nation being disappointed externally. And what has happened is that these individuals, even we, making our own masks, isolating ourselves, really doing what we need to do to protect not only ourselves, but each other. And, Robert Kraft flying to China and getting 1 million masks and bringing them back. So it teaches us that there is a lot that we can do instead of solely depending externally for security. So in what ways then can we do that? How can we create a more supportive home environment. Jack and I planted a garden last week, the week before, and we've been adding to it and kind of trying to teach him to be self-sustaining. So how can you do that with your environment? How can your home environment be more supportive? Could it be more organized? Could you be more disciplined? With like me unpacking my boxes and keeping the kitchen clean, and just so you feel better in it and not beat yourself up at the end of the day. Do you need a pet at this time? I don't know what I would do without these cats. They keep me laughing. They are so therapeutic. They're just so cute during the day. I think it would be a very different environment if I were here alone and didn't have them. What about your routine? How could you create more of a routine that would support you and help you to feel more productive? And then emotionally, when we get those times when we are distressed, how do we handle it? From birth to 2 or 3, 4 when we become more independent, way back in the limbic system, it's ingrained in us when we get distressed, when we need, when we're sad, we reach out. Not self-soothe, we reach out. Mom, Dad, and anytime we're distressed, we're wet as a baby, we're hungry as a baby, we call out, I can't do it myself, I need you. And so when we do have those times when we may feel alone, when our thoughts tell us, oh, everybody's handling this much better, oh, the people who have families, they're doing better than I am, they're probably getting on each other's nerves, to tell you the truth. When those feelings arise, instead of panicking, maybe we can just ride the feeling out, not buy into it, not ruminate on it. Write it out for 10 or 15 minutes. Ask yourself if it's true. And if we continue to think about it, it could last all day. So let's just wait it out. Okay, this is a feeling like waves. I'm gonna ride the wave, then I'm gonna go continue my routine. Be a good friend to yourself like that. And if it doesn't go away, I'm around. You can call me or text. And for those of you who are extroverts, who do need others for energy, maybe, even if you haven't reached out, talked to a friend in a year, or someone in your family, or my dad always said, go help someone. If you're depressed, go help somebody else. Get your focus off yourself. Wouldn't you want that friend to say, in a few years, when times got rough, so-and-so, reached out to me, gave me a call, or wrote me a note. It helps so much. So I wish you well. I wish you a good day and a good weekend. I want to give a shout out to our medical professionals out there, our nurses and doctors who are on the front lines, doing a hard job and risking themselves and their families. A shout out to EMTs, my firefighter friends. They do so much for us too. Those are our externals who help us to feel secure, and they're amazing people. Okay, I hope you have a great day. Much love.